Hey guys, we are back for tutorial 7, and the plan is to eventually create a GUI where you can make stories using, buttons and text boxes, and then save them and load them, so that you don't have to do it through code like this. And in order to do that, what we need is a library. So a class library that we can import into our GUI project. And then once it's imported the GUI project, that'll allow us to access that code without having to copy and paste it or move it in some other way. So we're going to right click on the solution story app here. And we're going to say add new project. And then underneath here, you see class library. There's .NET Standard and .NET Framework. We're going to click .NET Framework because we're just going to make it compatible with Windows Format and WPF, and these are both .NET frameworks. A lot of these will be cross-compatible, but we're just going to keep it simple. And we'll call this Storyteller API, I guess. Well, it's not really an API. We'll just say Storyteller library, because it's a class library, and say OK. All right, now you see in here you have namespace, Storyteller library, and then we have a class1.cs. Well, we're going to take all this code that we are using over here, and we are going to copy it over. Yeah, so all of it. Scene, show stats, okay. Here, and yes, we'll need to do, so I'll just shift up key until it's all selected. In fact, we're going to do Control X. Okay, now it's all gone from here. And of course, it's going to throw a bunch of errors for a moment. And we're going to go to here, class 1, remove this, paste it all in there. Just to keep it simple, what you really can do is say over here, you say add, here, add, and then you do class. And then you would create a new file for each one of these, and probably we'll end up doing that when it gets larger. But for now, we're just going to keep it as is. Let's make sure there's no errors. Doesn't appear to be. We will rename this to, let's see, something like that. Obviously, we're going to break this up into multiple things later as we expand it. So, or at least that's the intention. We're not going to worry about that too much. All right, and then we can hit this start up here. What that's going to do is it's going to make it into a DLL file. So we got to wait a second for it to start up and compile it. Okay, it says there is a build error, so we say no. We got to figure out what it is. Player cannot find it. Well, that is this problem over here, not this one. So what happened is we hit this and it was still targeting that. So what we need to do is say over here, we say on top of, we right click Storyteller app and we say build here, or build, but we're selecting build from here, not from this area. It says build succeeded. So we can open up the folder and we can see in bin and debug storyteller library.dll right there. Okay. Now, we have the Storyteller library created. Over here, of course, a lot of stuff is missing. So we're going to go over here, and on the side in the Solution Explorer, there's something called References right here. You can see a bunch of different references to sort of stuff that we're using, like system, and then you see up here, you see using system, and then, yeah, anyways. What we're going to do is right-click on References, Add Reference. We're going to say Browse. And then what we want to do is find this thing. So one of these, I think. So let's see if we can find it. Story app. Yep. Storyteller library, bin, debug. Then you click on it, the DLL. Select it down here and click Add. It's got a checkbox next to it, so we just click OK. And then up here we say using Storyteller library, and bam, we're back to using the library. And now we don't have to worry about having the code inside of here. It's now in a DLL. We can now create a GUI and go ahead and add that in so that we can create an interface for us to use in creating stories. But that's probably something I'm going to leave for a little bit later tutorial, because that part is going to be a whole probably 20 minutes in of itself, probably potentially more depending on how detailed we want to get. So what I'm going to do now is probably end the tutorial, even though this was a relatively short one.